Yeah, it's Saturday.
Okay, that's going to be really...
Yeah.
He better win.
Yeah,
because if he doesn't win,
he has no
calling
option.
himself top G
you
is
have no option.
Yeah.
It's either win or he will probably be, again, a lot of people don't like him, but he will be the most roasted individual on the internet.
God, yeah.
Like,
he better get off Twitter or X,
he better get off real quick.
All right,
there
guys.
goes Tesla, an additional leg lower. That one didn't work out. No bounce in Tesla today, guys. A tough look on this name, that's for sure. But I hope everyone has a fantastic day. You can see what the big boys were up to throughout the midday. Send it over to them.
Oh boy!
I'm assuming you guys were just talking about the Squid Game guy versus Andrew Tate.
Yes.
I will say this.
Let's go Squid Game guy.
I said last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago when I first heard about this. Okay, that dude was a unit on Squid Game, and he's young. He's gonna whoop his butt. And then what had happened was I had seen some clips of this guy fighting in some other celebrity match. He is going to get destroyed. He's not even close to a boxer. He looks like he's a really good athlete.
Is Andrew Tate a boxer?
I think he played college football or something. Like he actually is a legitimate athlete.
Okay.
But my goodness, Tate was actually a kickboxer. He's going to destroy him because you have to have some kind of fight training. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Welcome back, everybody. Thank goodness, Medellin or Medellin?
Not even close. Well, you're close. It's easier. Medline.
Medline.
I thought I heard you saying that this morning, and I was like, what is this guy talking about? And then I looked it up. It's literally that simple. M-E-D line.
Did I say that? I don't think I said that this morning.
No, I think you were saying Medellin, or just like you just said right now. And then the only reason I thought about it, because I checked. When you were pronouncing it like that, I was like, I thought it was just Medline.
Medline. Okay, well, that's real easy.
But thank God it came.
Thank
that's
God,
the
without
answer
that
to that
IPO
one.
today, well, like, what are you going to do? The reversal, like Bitcoin did the most disgusting. Where's my Bitcoin chart? Let's lead with this. This was disgusting Bitcoin on a 15-minute here. Like Bitcoin went from ham breakout to the biggest rejection of 90K. Just a ridiculous move back down. We could lose 85 today. If Bitcoin closes under 85, that is a nasty candle on the daily. It's a problem. It's a full-blown problem, Bitcoin. No questions asked.
We finally, okay, we'll do AIML here. Your heartbeat 100,000 times today. And every beat, of course, is a data point. AIML innovations on the CSE AIML, and over here on the pink sheets, AIMLF, turns that data into potentially life-saving insights with max yield. Cool name. An AI engine that filters noise, labels each heartbeat with lab-grade precision, and shrinks ECG analysis from days to minutes. This stuff is pretty cool. We did have them on our show not too long ago. Their mission is to revolutionize how heart disease is detected, monitored, and prevented. Please go to AIML.health and follow AIML_Innova, INNOVA on X. We want to thank AIML for their sponsorship of the show. And I was just going to say, like, finally, we finally went short. So we tried it at 470, so I left Tesla all alone. We got absolutely crushed trying to catch the long. We got one little long one time at 475, basically just trying the easy ones. And then it, got it, then didn't, then lost it. See ya. There's only so many cuts you could take. Like when you're taking even 300 or 400 shares, like every level, and then it breaks. Like if you lose $300 times 5 times, it adds up, and if not more. We finally tried it at 470, and then I was just like, forget about it, man. We're just gonna hit this short. So we're now out of just a little more than half of this as we'll watch the short come through. I'm just gonna use the 50-period moving average, right? I mean, I was debating using this 21 period, which would get us out at 368. So if we do break back above 368 a little bit, we're only short at 369 quarters, then I think we could take it out there. I'm sure Tesla's gonna be on this list, but the big one that many of you may be wondering about is this MDLN. Me and Neil just talked about it. No matter how you pronounce it, it was an absolute. Well, honestly, if you take away, it was one of the better ones. And the reason why I'm saying that there's a little bit of a caveat there is that, and Neil showed it on the 5-second chart, but I mean, this is just a 1-minute one. It does actually break. So if we actually zoom in, and maybe I'll just, hold on a second, I'll go customization, and I'll get rid of these fills so you guys can see more clear. And you'll see how ridiculous my outs are. But, you know, it prints at 35, so there's the opening print, right? What happened was, it basically went to 35.50. You couldn't have got that. That was just like you almost didn't even get the fill before it did that, so forget about it. Then it just came right back in and was dancing. Well, it does break, okay, but it only goes to 95s there. So when it breaks, that's an indicator for me to get out because it doesn't hold its IPO price, okay? But the minute that it broke back above, I just went bang. I mean, I was very muted. I just put the buy button. And then anyways, the rest, as you can see, is history on this name. And it just kept on, you know, erasing all of our losses from the day there on other names, but right to the upside as it keeps on going. And then now I'll put these back in right now, and you're going to see right here. And I got back in. You're going to see oops, what was it? What did I just do there? No, this is what I want. Oh, I got rid of this. Display. Yeah, that's good enough. And I want to also display the percentage change. Yeah, I think that's right. Or is it absolute change? I think it's percentage change. Yeah, so it's just now you can see what happened. So we got out, we got back in on that move higher. And then all of a sudden I was just like, I said to Neil, and I said it even on the show, like, if based on what happened off the open, if I could get 36s, we were pretty happy with it. So we got a bunch, pretty much the majority out at 36. Then it started to climb, and this is where we left it all the way, 37.50, falls back in, and you continue to stair step higher on Medline. So this will now be my #1 stock on the month, but it's just, that's the way it works for IPOs. I mean, we have a strategy, we have a sort of a magic potion there, and it just worked today. It's not lucky, but I decided to make the choice of getting back in with the same default. So that's why, you know, this had sort of happened and why I'm pretty happy with it right now. And the fact that I'm holding right now just a small portion left should tell you everything. Like we got the majority of these out, especially the second wave, right in around here, 37.50, you know, and back and forth. So we'll see how high this thing can fly, but 38.20. And I hope that, congratulations to anybody out there that was able to hit this as well. I mean, there was an opportunity, you know, to make a decent amount there, and I hope that some of you did. But it was a tricky one, Neil. It wasn't like the rest. That break was something that we hadn't seen in a while.
Yeah, I guess we'll talk about this one probably individually as I look over, and I can now cheap. I look.
Oh yeah, it's probably on the board. Yeah.
Tesla. I don't even know what the Medline symbol looks like. Maybe it's not on there. Okay, well it is. Well, Sharif just told you guys. No, when we talk about it, I'll get into the nitty gritty of the 5-second chart, which is like a new thing. I can't tell you. It helped on the way out taking some profits, but it did not help at the open, the 5-second chart, because what happened at the open was crazy. I don't know if we are locked and loaded and ready to go. We're almost ready to go. But realistically, the other thing that we got to remember, and a lot has happened today. I get it, reversal in crypto, Tesla's moved down, the Nasdaq trying to get to 2%. Obviously, the new IPO here, Medline. Micron reports tonight in all of this chaos, down 4%. This is the last significant,
last chance to get out of it.
Pretty sure it's the last significant IPO for the holidays. There's probably maybe there's like a small one or two tomorrow or whatever, but this is going to be a big one tonight. Maybe not the best of days ever to be coming out, and there's a lot not working with it here, but we should be keeping eyeballs on Micron in particular, in addition to the names that are going to be on the list as we go to the rundown with Sharif. I'm pretty sure Micron won't be on it, but we can't forget they're the big reporter tonight.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, everyone, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys, they're locked, they're loaded, they're ready post-IPO, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get the tickers on the Afternoon Rundown, you got to join us in the chat, and you've got to vote every day for your favorite ticker. Whatever ticker your heart so desires, just make sure you're throwing in that $ before the ticker of your choice. Otherwise, it doesn't register. Let's look at all four major averages. And they're all negative, being led here by the NQ, down 1.7%. Really, it has been a very, very red day. in the technology sector specifically. Semiconductors, microchips, all negative on my watch list. The NQ reflecting that negativity, down 1.7%. Likewise here with the ES losing 6,800 on the ES, down 1%. The Dow faring a little bit better. In fact, the best of the 4 major averages on the day, down only 0.44. And the Russell tries to hold on to 2,500. It's also down 1% on the day. The first ticker, though, as decided by you guys, TSLA, making all-time highs yesterday on the back, of course, of the robo-taxi expansion that we saw out of Austin. Widely speculated that they may be getting ready to have driverless, safety driver-free robo-taxis in the Austin area, as well as the Palo Alto, San Francisco Bay Area. But today they had a bigger problem, specifically California. Administrative judge basically saying autopilot and FSD are, not indicative of what they actually are, and they want them to change the name. If they don't change the name from autopilot to FSD, they could lose their license to sell cars in the state. There was also a second judgment there where it said that they were going to be prohibited from making cars in the state, specifically Fairmont, but that was stayed by the DMV. So guys, Tesla down 4 1/3 after making all-time highs.
4 1/3. It's yesterday's move in reverse. Now, the chart's not going to be the same because it didn't take as long to get downside as it did to the upside, but effectively the levels are the same. The current bottom is yesterday's low. Okay, it did break out and made some fresh highs early, but as you can sort of see, like a lot of the resistance that ended up winning was that 490 for Tesla. The frustrating thing about it was, well, at least what'll frustrate me is sometimes it's okay to have sort of not traded if you're looking long. But when I look back at the 480 level, which was, to me, that was a level I liked. It was 480 triple top yesterday that it broke out and came in thinking, well, that's sort of a spot to look at as a key price. It gapped down and there was nothing doing on the way down. Like it went on one candle, went 83 and broke 480 and went all the way down to 479. So at that point, it's like, okay, well, that level's not working. And then immediately after it broke, look at how that level holds up in the next 15, 20 minutes for the short side of the trade. So that's the thing that would frustrate me the most. It is what it is. I think at that point, like what happens on an IPO day, at least for myself, I know this to be true. Like as I'm starting to wrap it up, it's like I'm just starting to think about the IPO at that point. I'm like, whatever, this was a frustrating morning. But the short at that 480 level, that's the thing. Like you want to transact. The first part of trading a lot of times is where is the interesting price or where is the place to get involved. If you can find that, that's half, and then of course the other half is which direction to go. But the way it was coming to the downside, it showed you resistance at that 480. Whether or not we hold this low, I think is an important one, not just today, but these are like the prior resistance levels in the 60s. So I know it looks really, really bad if you just look at your chart today, or if you see 4% down, like you'll freak out. But this is a pullback into the prior high, technically. That's not ugly until it loses the prior high. Like until then, it's just, okay, we just fill the gap back in and we're pulling back into prior resistance. If that actually holds up, then it's kind of like a typical pullback. So I wouldn't freak out about it now, but I could change my mind in a couple of days.
Yeah, I had similar thoughts about those 480 levels. Like that's where most of the, so the only thing that I was thinking about was just like the revenge trading aspect, because like we went long here at the low of the day and we were pretty patient waiting for that. Like we don't even get into Tesla, until 10:30. So I think that that to me is a win, just because that's what we've been trying to do is wait. And we thought that we had seen some bottom there. And then when that broke, so we averaged it in and got out there. So it was probably a decent hit, like nothing super significant there. But then like why we're getting back in right here is the question that I had. Like it's all of these, and then there's the stop out there at 482. I mean, I know why. I can look back and understand why we got in. I talked about, I think we wrote it down today actually on the note. Yeah, 481 to 483. So it basically came right into the levels that, oopsies, I want to go the other way, came right into the levels that we were talking about, 481 to 482. So I was kind of loaded up into here, and then when it broke right there, it broke through 480, that was a big problem. We were able to get back in a little bit, a couple outs there, and then lost it again. So it's just like, just trying to battle in and around 480 when we didn't need to. Like if we write down 481 or 480 as our stop, that should be pretty much where it is. I just was not expecting this kind of a violent move, but we know Tesla can do it, and it's to Neil's point or whatever, it's only down 4%. Like, we could get a lot nastier. I tried 470, and then finally, once 470 broke, I went short. I didn't make up my mind until 469.20s. So we just got a bunch more out. I said, like, once this 21 period moving average, which has sort of sent us down from 476, we didn't cross that at all until just now. So these are my out areas. And I was going to say, you know, maybe up to 470 for this last piece. But yeah, I don't think there were some big time sellers there on Tesla today, and it was just obviously dropping down. I mean, it's not alone. Like, I don't know what other names are going to be on this list, but there's a lot of stock that just kept on heading southbound today.
They're probably all down. Except
yeah, and they're all not the greatest.
I got a dollar says everything we talk about in the rundown is negative except for Medline.
Yeah, that's probably right. I mean, well, maybe I'll take that dollar, because maybe MSOS. The only thing I could think about would be that, but I don't.
Oh, you're right.
If he's just going with that board, then yeah, it might be a problem. All right, let's go back over and see what's up with Sharif and Sia in the background.
All right, guys, let's look at Netflix, the second one here on the afternoon rundown, up almost 0.75%, but well off the highs as the market did take a bit of a downturn, 97.33 high of the day. Look, the headline that we got this morning was that Warner Brothers board basically encouraging their shareholders to accept the Netflix deal and to forego Paramount Discovery's PSKY's larger, more aggressive deal, which, according to the board at Warner Brothers, doesn't have the same type of financial backstop as a Netflix deal. Separately, we got this midday that Netflix will add World Cup games. So not exactly sure which ones they're going to add, or how many, but we do know that they will be involved in the World Cup in the summer. Good look as they look to diversify into sports.
That Netflix?
Okay, so the funny thing about it is, like, the first one we talk about is technically still up on the day.
Oh, there we go.
So it is what it is. We should have made that better, or maybe I just owe you $1. That being said, it still is trend down, which I suppose I should have said, well, everything is trending down, but no, technically Netflix is still up, even if it's been a downtrend for most of the day like the rest of the market. But this is what you wanted to hear. Netflix doesn't have to raise their bid. That's a win. I feel pretty, you can't know these things, so I can't tell you if it wasn't for this rug pull that the market did, Netflix would be up 3 or 4% today. I can't know that for sure, but I feel pretty good that that's true. Like, it was trending up. It didn't really lose the bid until, the market took a secondary leg down. Like, this would be at about 10.48. It broke VWAP and broke trend at 10.48. Like, that's going to be, oh, wow. That's all the way down here on the Nasdaq. When the Nasdaq was making a way lower high, that's when Netflix broke the trend. So I think you're positive on this. To me, this was the news I was waiting for on Netflix. I forgot to do it because of the IPO, so I just went now. Because the way I see it, long-term, this is a good deal. The only fear was that they were going to have to raise their bid. On the Warner Brothers side, hopefully people rang the register, took the 30 that you could get. At this point, it's still trading pretty decently. I mean, probably it's trading $1 above the actual value of the deal right now. Forget about the fair value at closing, which probably doesn't close till sometime next year. It could take a while to close. So it's still, Warner Brothers is still trading at a pretty decent premium. Like, I wouldn't buy this here at all, to be honest with you. I guess there's an outside chance that Paramount could come back with a higher bid. I suppose that's what bulls are looking for on Warner Brothers, but hopefully you took it. I can see this dropping easily further, back down, at least into 27. Like, if anything, if you just went by the time value of money, this thing should be trading at like 26 something, not 28.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there is a chance that they come back with another bid. Yeah, look, I mean, I've been pumping the tires of Netflix for a while, and obviously not happy with the move today, but yeah, you gotta sort of like some of the base that we've seen there on NFLX. Our daily chart, unfortunately, not show the splits on there, but yeah, maybe you've just come in. I mean, there's 92, right? I mean, whether or not you pick that somehow on the daily chart, I doubt it. I mean, if anything, people may have been waiting for 83 or 84, but if you like the stock, I mean, nothing wrong with getting in now. They had a good quarter, obviously getting hit down on this Warner Brothers talk, so that's not great to see that kind of a play, but it's a nice move, and I think we can break higher. So I'm a buyer of Netflix here, and I have been now for the last couple days anyways. So I like Netflix at these levels, and I think you can even add to your position if you so need to. But yeah, Netflix down here, $95. And then Warner Brothers. I mean, I think it was either yesterday or it was Monday when Neil was here, and this was at $30 flat. And at that point, it was like, I think it was just, didn't even break it. It was up in here. And it was like, if you liked the deal or thought that something was a little fishy, you could take your Warner Brothers, cash it out there, grab $30 per share, and then either buy it back now if you did, or you could put that into anywhere else in the market. And now you're getting hit down. Remember, I think the big thing to remember about all this is the fact that this is going to close maybe like Q3 26 or even later. So not sure how long it's going to take to settle down. So if you are a Warner Brothers shareholder, just please maybe decide if it's worth having your money tied up to that long, because it looks like you're going to get Netflix shares plus $23.75 or $24.75 cash. So you might do better getting out now and putting that money to work somewhere else. So by the way, there goes, we just got another piece out on Tesla as it just bounced right back down into the 21 period moving average. So this is now at 469. So I think we can almost be done with our Tesla sort of trade right now. So I'm going to cancel all my other offers and just work this out. If we break through, let's just give it this level here, 468.50. So 50 more cents and we could dump the rest of our position. Right now we only have about 20% left or so. So it's okay. Let's see what winds up happening.
We went out there, we found something a little bit crazy. When looking into exchanges, we've come across BTCC, top 30 globally, and they have never, ever been hacked. So major exchanges keep getting wrecked left, right, and center, but BTCC stays untouched. Zero KYC if you're in the US, Canada, or Europe. And through Trader TV, you can get 100 USDT coupons for registering, plus a 15% bonus. That'll cover losses up to 15K USDT. Now, what are we missing here? I don't know, but you can scan that QR code to find more info or find the link in the description. Shout out to BTCC, you want to thank them. And I'm pretty sure when looking at the board right behind us is almost no secret now, because I can see the NVIDIA logo from here. So let's go talk about some NVIDIA next NVIDIA on the list.
All right, guys. NVIDIA down 3 3/4% and looking to break 170. In fact, the low of the day, 170.31 as it loses 171 as I speak here. A couple of reasons why we're lower. The first one, as we reported to you guys this morning, Blue Owl Capital will not provide funding for a $10 billion deal to build Oracle's next data center. Separately, there are reports coming out of China here that they are working to rival the West in AI chips. No specific details, though, out of that. But in any event, microchip semiconductor is all negative on the day.
Yeah, they're all bad. Going into Micron earnings tonight, and obviously you can. We were making the comment of let's just blame this one on Oracle, because that's what it seemed like happened. Like you had NVIDIA gapping higher, holding range, and it was right about here. We were on air. That's when the Oracle news, that Oracle news that was just referenced by Sharif, dropped, and it basically never recovered. It's been trend down ever since, holding VWAP. Stair-stepping, and when it would break a consolidation, it would do so violently, absolutely violently. Again, the good news would be for NVIDIA, well, check this thing out on the daily chart. You're starting, what might happen, if we hang up, if we're as choppy as we've been, because NVIDIA's been a pretty choppy stock, if it stays this choppy, you could have a situation where this support here, which I feel like I almost need to draw a line, that's how nasty all these wicks are. Like if I draw a kind of line to show you this support and where we recently bounced at 165-ish, there's a chance that if we chop around, you could have that merge with the 200 period moving average and give you like an implied buy zone here for NVIDIA. Like that's what I'd wait for, at least temporarily, because you've made a top, this Oracle thing, until Oracle makes some kind of constructive bottom. Spoiler alert, it's not right now, so that's obvious. I think you want to wait and have your levels out there if you like to be picking some things up on dips. Like I have a stink bid on ARM, which I still think we need to fall a little further. Maybe like I think it's like 15% further from here before I get any more shares of that. And if with NVIDIA, let's see that 200 period moving average. For Oracle, I mean, hard pass, but also maybe I was saying this morning. Well, I mean, if it got to 130 bucks, I'd buy some, but that's an easy thing to say. I just don't want that stock. But for NVIDIA, I do think we get a chance at that 200 period moving average if things hold true. And then if you was seller at anywhere on the way up, or like myself, like I sold some AMD, almost all of my AMD, to be honest with you, my plan of action was to get back into, or put those shares, put that money into other places. Like I want some to go to NVIDIA, I want some to go to ARM, and I want some to go into the SPY. So I think NVIDIA, we're maybe a week or two away, could be an end of the year thing to see that 200 period.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to talk about AMD because, yeah, the truth here is like this name is down 5%. It's even down more today than NVIDIA, right? And you guys saw me sell this live on our show at 250, but that's irrelevant now. I mean, the whole market is just really bleeding down. And look at this 200 level. You know, like this is just something, again, where like I'm just disappointed because there were so many opportunities today that you could have really like, you know, leaned into certain stocks. Like this name, look at this 50 period moving average. It's just like all the way, it's just like cranked all the way down. It's just like, oh man, there's so many opportunities. And I just, you know, was stubborn and fought long all morning. And it's like, ugh. And there's AMD like just giving it to you one more time. Like there's that 200 that, not only that, you could have just waited for 200. You know, even on that bounce, it went to 199.50 and then bounced up to 201.50. So there was enough money to be made there trying to catch these bottoms. And then eventually when it breaks, I think you just do what I did on Tesla there and you reverse into the short. But yeah, stock sell. I mean, you know, I'm not sure if Neil showed you Broadcom. Oh, bye Tesla. Tesla's now $3 in the money, but it's like I'm just so frustrated with it. But look at Broadcom down 5%, and we had Brian Shannon on even 2 weeks ago, and we were talking about, you know, gap fills and all that kind of stuff. And this is what's about to happen right now. And I don't think we like this, obviously, but Broadcom. The writing was on the wall. We can all point at Oracle. Oracle started falling down a month and a half ago or whatever it was, man. AVGO was last week when they double missed and the stock was down. This is a double beat, sorry. This is the reaction to their earnings, which was great. So, you know, and they even guided okay. Like it's like that was the writing was probably on the wall there. This kind of feels like just because all these names are down 5%, you know, the SOX L is down 9%, of course, because it's double all these moves pretty much. So it's just like this does feel like sort of a whoosh out kind of day. But the Nasdaq's been down 1.7% before, and you know, had other down days. I mean, we'll maybe once Neil and I start talking, maybe we'll go over all of that. But you know, there are multiple opportunities here. Like here's a good example for the SOX L. You know, down. You said, oh my God, that's bad. Then there's a really bad candle similar to today. Then we had one little rebound, and then another bad day, then another bad day, then a little bit of rebound, then this. You know, and then now you're just cascading. So I would just say like, hold your chip stocks tight to the vest because you got to get ready for a potential meltdown even further until we get to a place where you see volume sort of start extending and then maybe find a capitulated bottom, because right now it's kind of just like stair-stepping down, right? Like every level's not holding. People just keep on hitting it, and then the rebound is very, very muted. You're waiting for a big rebound, and that's what caught me on Tesla before I finally wised, you know what, up and went short. So, but anyways, all right, that's a little bit of a talk right there. Anyways, I was going to go over Intel and AMD, but we're going to go over that.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about that as we go. All right. From Netflix to Tesla to NVIDIA to maybe a name that even we can't pronounce sometimes.
Oh, that's just me.
I'm going to just call it Medline. I think it's called Medline, guys. IPO'd. The IPO price for institutional buyers yesterday was $29 a share. That was towards the high end of the range. Opened up today, as you saw live on the Midday Show with Joseph and I, $35 per share. High a day, $38.49, trading a little bit below 38 right now. Look, guys, this is going to be the largest global IPO of the year, unless one comes out a little bit later. 216 million shares priced at $229 were sold yesterday in the institutional phase. Founded in 1966, by the way, guys. They make surgical kits, gloves, gowns, and they've been profitable. Consistent net sales growth every year since inception. Again, inception 1966. They do have a bit of a possible headwind going into next year. The company expects $150 to $200 million in tariff headwinds, guys. In any event, good look for MDLN on the day. What's your view now?
Another medical opportunity here, and that, of course, is with OGen. When the seconds count, you don't have time to wait. Just treat the symptoms. NYSE-listed Oragenic, symbol OGEN, is rewriting the rules of neurological care. We're looking to develop the first FDA-approved treatment for concussions. This is a quick one. Simply book your meeting, check the QR code, check the link in description, get that figured out with OGen, especially if you are, or any of your loved ones suffering from concussions, or anybody you know. Let them know that OGen is out there working for you. Yeah, I mean, I think Neil and I went, well, we went over this a little bit earlier. Make sure you do join us every day at 8 a.m. We are now live at 8 a.m. and that's when we started talking about it. And I actually, again, it's just so funny because it's right here, obviously written on my note today about MDLN, and it's exactly the plan of action is written down on here and followed to a T pretty much. I mean, we just wrote long off open. That's it. Watching the top range of 30. Well, it came out at 35, so that's fine. If it opens higher, size down. So we didn't, you know, like I said, we're trying to follow our rules. We're not in there with, you know, the billion shares, whatever, that we wanted to be in after looking at it. You have to make decisions on IPOs based on the information that you get, right? And I mean, we sat here for a long time today. I didn't even have my lunch. I sat here all morning waiting for this to happen. And what we basically saw was this imbalance locator right here. And all that it was doing was kept, and maybe it's still, if I sort by size, I don't know if it would still be here. Let me just go find quickly by alphabetical. Oh yeah, volume might be a good one. Paired volume. Okay, that's a good one, Sharif. Let me see what's on top here. Yeah, hold on a second. That was a good one, Sharif. There it is. Boom. Nice one, Sharif. Yeah, so we're just watching this getting paired off. So there's when it finally opened up, right? 1252. So there's the unhalt. And you could just see this number just kept on growing and growing and growing. So there was an opening print of probably between 15 to 16 million shares. That's huge. We were not expecting that many shares. Most IPOs that come with this many shares do tend to have a trajectory like this. It just tells you that there is a lot of interest in this name. And so yeah, I feel like I sized appropriately. I'm just mad at my Tesla trade from earlier. But this one was really great. It's a little tricky because it does break back down below 35, but it holds. It only goes 5 cents lower. The minute it took 35 again, I basically IPO traded it twice. So like I went long on the IPO, then it broke the IPO price, then 5 seconds later I went long again at that exact same price, and then, you know, the rest is history, or Bob's your uncle, and it just kept on going to the upside. So many of my outs are here at 36. We still did really well, despite the 17th of the month. If I add up all the money I made on every other stock this whole month, and this is just me being honest, this one is number one. So we did really well on this name, and it's a good one today, but always feel like we could have done better. I was really not expecting this to move like this, especially after it was like wavering early. I thought the buyers might not be here, and it turns out that it was. So far so good on Medline. I think this one might be a little different because it's not all AI based.
It is, well, that's the thing. It's in the right spot,
you know,
which was not related to AI today. I feel like if it was related to AI, we would not be looking at this. Thank you, Luther Burden, for not practicing today. That's going to stink for me in the semifinals. But anyways, the thing that's frustrating, like it was good for me. It wasn't great. It was good enough to get positive, but it wasn't. I've been using the 5-second chart for IPOs, and I feel like every time except for today, it's been really, really good. And I can't argue with the timing of when this looked good off the 35, because on a 5-second chart, like this is where the original long stopped out for me here, and then it breaks. On the next 5-second candle, it breaks again at 35. And then it breaks again 5 seconds, and it breaks again. And it broke 4 times after that. So a total of 5 times it broke that level, and then this is where it held. So you'll see I have quarters as a long. That's because I didn't really get long until I think I got a little bit on the way up here, and then I got some on this dip back in and ended up with like quarters instead of 01s. Whatever. I think, did we get evens or 01s in the original? I don't even remember.
Oh, I think it was been O's. I have to look.
The opening print was evens. It wasn't even 01s. Okay. The opening print was actually even. So like my re-entry price was a little bit worse, but that sort of is what it is, but I still believe that 5-second chart, if you have access to it, it can be helpful. You don't have a lot of price history going on. Like, you can't draw any trend lines or anything like that. So for myself, like, it was frustrating to have been stopped out and then get back in. I don't think we have to worry about VWAP today. And if we do, I'm holding onto a piece. If we lose 30, it's like 37, this area here, 37.3 is where I'm trailing the last half out, and if we lose VWAP, I get the rest of it out. I'm just looking to see if it can trend up to 40. Like, why not look to see if it can trend to 40 on the last little bit here for Medline? Successful IPO. Might be interesting to keep an eye on this. I know we usually talk about these IPOs for a day or two, but keep in mind, I would imagine that any resolution on the extension of the ACA in the US, well, where else would it be, could be positive for them. So maybe keep your ear to the ground. That could be a potential catalyst for these guys. That wouldn't be just the volume you get from the IPO a day or two after.
I want to thank Alberta, bless you, Alberta Gloater. What's up, Alberta Gloater? Reminding me that I had written down Netflix 95. So Netflix came into 95, so we are now long with a new position alert. Like, look, I wrote down Netflix 95 at 8 a.m. You know, it comes in, it prints 95.05 and then gets up to the 30s. I don't know if it's going to go. You know, the market just hit the lows, but there's no better time. You know, I mean, there's 95. Oh, man, it hit it twice. Okay, so there's no better time to try now as the market's at these lows, and we know that this could be a potentially strong name today, although the day is getting a little long in the tooth right here. But anyways, new position, Netflix against 95. Let's see what happens. All right, Sharif.
Silver, Sean, all-time highs for the spot price, $66.52. It's a little bit off it now, but it's lifting up, of course, the spot price as well as the miners. On the back of tight supply, says this article, strong demand, and of course, as we always know, speculative interest rising, that is. And it's also helping pull up gold. There's some rotational money going out of gold and into silver, platinum, and palladium, guys. So $70 an ounce now being looked at as the next level. Silver up 4 1/3.
Over, eh?
Well, before we talk about silver, I want to shout out Mike the Rider in the chat. Because, you know, this is, where is it? I wanted to see the comment. He was talking about how he doesn't really drink coffee because, like, for him, it's like he doesn't like the effect it has. I think, like, it's one of those things where, like, everybody's built different. And, you know, I got rid of coffee at one point. I was like, okay, then I moved back to, like, drinking, like, maybe effectively like 1 or 1.5 cups and only 1 on the weekends from like the 3 or 4 that I was doing when I started trading. But it's a weird thing. Like, for some people, like for me, I actually can see the effect in my heart rate. And so I know that if I have too much, like the ones Randy brings, I'll probably have like half of it before it gets cold.
Yeah, I've had, I think, a half a coffee today.
But if I finish like 3 or 4, then my heart rate's gonna spike, like all that stuff. So I think it's smart to listen to yourself, listen to your body. I think that's pretty cool, and not just get sort of caught up, addicted to something. Silver, this is the one day. Like, if I'm being real, okay, so I wasn't really trading much of anything when this hit VWAP the last time. So the strategy on silver for myself is silver open today? Answer yes. If it's open, then I wait for after the opening range for it to start holding VWAP and then go long. So that's been the plan of action for a while now on silver. Whoops, that's still Medline. For a while now on silver, and because it's been trending up, that's been pretty good. Like, it never gets to VWAP, it just trends down, you don't trade it. The days where it's like range bound, you wait till it's holding VWAP. At some point it gets back to the high. It would have worked yesterday, even for a small gain. It's been a pretty solid strategy. The problem is, I didn't trade it, so I went 1 for 3 on it and I'm down because I didn't get it this last time off VWAP at 145. So I think that's gonna be something I'll continue to look for. Silver is starting to outpace gold. Well, it has been for a little while. It's a catch-up trade, and when it goes even faster. And we're still in that. Do I think it'll last forever? Probably not. Like, I think it's not unreasonable to think that it might be a little bit rougher of a first quarter or first half of the year next year for silver relative to what it is right now. But until then, it's still upward trending, and favor the long has certainly worked out on SLV, at least for now. And then we were talking about copper as well with Raheem this morning. And not just like gold, copper miners as well, not just only talk about 1 or 2 metals. And you know, the trend sometimes might be somewhere else. Maybe we'll be talking about energy tomorrow, who knows?
Energy is the one that's actually up today pretty nicely.
Exactly.
All right, we are going to go back over. Actually, Sia's ready. What do you got up for us here, Sia?
Hi, Hi, everyone. So a bigger drawdown is seen in the crude oil stock numbers as of 10:30 a.m. this morning. The number came out to be a negative 1.27 million, making it 0.54 million lower than the previous release. Also, the 20-year bond auction took place at 1 p.m. this afternoon, marking a 0.092% increase, with the current number standing at 4.798% and the previous one at 4.706%. Let's also take a quick look at headlines today. U.S. President Donald Trump has vowed to stop the oil tankers from going into Venezuela. The oil prices have rallied nearly 2% as of today, with Chevron, which is up currently 0.97%, being the only company authorized by the United States to carry Venezuelan crude to the U.S. Venezuela has now produced 900,000 barrels of crude oil this year, making it roughly 1% of the world's supply. President Donald Trump also on Tuesday called the regime in the country a foreign terrorist organization. Also, we got crude oil inventories this morning at 10:30 a.m. Data showed a 9.3 million barrel increase in crude oil stockpiles last week. Also, Warner Bros. Sorry, give me 1 second over here. Warner Bros. Is sided with Netflix's deal over the $108 billion Paramount deal. And WBD has advised its shareholders to reject Paramount's takeover bid. The deal was with Paramount said superior to the $72 billion deal that Warner Brothers has struck with Netflix. And as a reaction, Netflix shares ticked 2% higher as of this morning, currently up 0.99%, whereas Warner Brothers lost 1% and Paramount fell by 5%. News from Amazon at 1 p.m. this afternoon was that its AI chief Rohit Prasad will be leaving the company. It confirmed so at 1 p.m. today, and Amazon is recognizing its AGI unit with remarks from CEO Andy Jassy that the reorganization will include its silicon development and quantum computing teams. New division will now be led by Peter DeSantis, who is the current senior VP of the cloud unit and a 27-year veteran at Amazon. Amazon stock currently is up 0.66%. And also, as everyone has been watching, Medline is the biggest IPO in 2026 with a $6 billion in notional value. Shares are currently up 31% in their first full day of trading on the Nasdaq under the symbol MDLN. And that's all. Back to the guys.
Yeah, MDLN, never heard of it. Great job there. See ya. It's funny because one day she was, I don't think you were here, but she was leaving, and I was like, see ya. And I was thinking like, see ya, see ya? You know?
Probably get that a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, she's talking to Brett.
So the same guy that just hit the crickets is the same guy that laughed when I said that, by the way. So,
yeah, come on.
you know, shout out to you guys over there.
Which one of them hit it, though?
I don't know. One of those jokers over there. Probably Fabian.
Or Andre.
Probably the Chilean nightmare over there, this guy. But, yeah.
So get that a lot.
Yeah, just really quickly there. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, you know, that and some chandelier stuff. But 95.20, we just got some out there at 35s. So that was just sort of the base there. Let's see if Netflix wants to mature up and get going just a little bit. And then also out on the 50 period there as well on Tesla. You know, our stop is up here if we break. So we'll hold this, see if it continues to go down. But we're getting lighter and lighter now, down to about 10% left. So it's not a whole heck of a lot. And then, by the way, that one stock, MDLN Medline, continuously making some money today as we just make another high, almost. Close enough to it right there at 38.50. So we're still long this one now. We're $3 in the money here. We're $1.50 on Tesla, and that's trading for you. The other name that I'm up on today, I'm up on MSOS and I'm up on Medline there. And MSOS, although has this, like I literally got out at the very bottom. Like that was the price I said, 660 break. We only, by that time, I think you guys were here, man, we had only 20% left. So MSOS, still a profitable name, but that's just funny that like we picked the bottom of that as well. So slap a big ass fail on that one, as that does not work out at all. Downside there, boo on that. All right, another name that I don't think we talked about at all today, Palantir, also just bouncing off that bottom again of 177. So let's go there. What I wanted to do though was more with the TQQs. So I just wanted to show you guys something. Like on this break, I was just gonna say like we've, you know, in the morning, was when we broke lower, right? And we just kept on getting down there. Well, this is the 50-period moving average. It hasn't broke since. So right there, $50.20, I'm thinking about, and we can zoom in now, thinking about if we can get up to there and take that, that might help us springboard back there to the upside once this little trend of ours here is potentially broken. So I'm thinking I'm going to go long 50-20 break on the Nasdaq. So if that comes through, let's be patient, not try to fight this bottom, but we're going to get going now on this trade. So 50, it's also the 200 period moving average on the 1 minute, so that's good. But anyways, a 50-20 break, and I'm going to go long on the TQQs.
The trade I'm looking at right now is actually Robinhood. Someone asked in the chat, was there news on Robinhood? Why is it down today? Well, there was news, and it was actually good news. So they're getting in the sports betting market, effectively parlays. I don't know why they don't just call them parlays. There's probably some technical reason why they're not just saying it's you have access to parlays, but in-game betting on individual events and the ability to effectively parlay them was looking strong. And then, well, Bitcoin happened. So if you're wondering what this nonsense was, that was Bitcoin losing 90K. And after that, it was pretty much all game over. Right now, Bitcoin's sitting at 85.8.
What?
Oh, sweet. At 85.8, if we can hold the line here, I'm looking for a trend break and a possible, not necessarily to VWAP, I think that's asking a lot, but the opening range low was 119. This could break trend, and even if it just goes 15 to 119, you get like $1.50 out of it. So Robinhood is something that I'm looking at right now for a bit of a trend reversal. I just don't want to, this feels like an afternoon not to really force anything, but if we are holding in Bitcoin, I'm going to show you IBIT in a quick little second, right now actually. Like you're already showing a bottoming pattern in IBIT. Man, I'll tell you, I've traded IBIT a bunch. I don't recall ever getting slipped as far as the 50 break slipped me. Like instead of getting
that was insane.
Yeah, like
I'm with
usually getting like 2s and 3s or something like that, or like maybe even like 1s, but it slipped me all the way to like 15. Which is wild. You're just not used to that. On like part of the reason like you like these ETFs is there's plenty of liquidity in them. It's done 65 million shares. Man, it gave me a lot of slippage on that stop out, unfortunately. And then I tried another long up here, but in the fact that it looks like it's made a bottom, I like this trend break on Robinhood. But I just heard in my ear that we have a special guest this afternoon.
Guest. Very special guest.
If he is locked and loaded, ready to go, it's Mr. Jeff Mendel.
Oh, this guy
OTC
again?
Markets. It's a lot more fun when we have you in person because then we get to enjoy like a fantastic lunch. And thank you again for stopping by and gracing us with your presence and for the fantastic lunch we had last week, Jeff. How are things?
Awesome, guys. I'm surprised you guys I'm surprised I'm allowed back on the show right now.
That's what I was wondering. I said, no, this guy again? This guy again?
Do I have like an X, like one X, like 3 strikes? No. Perfect.
We got breaking news over here. Archer officially applied to launch air taxi operations over U.S. cities. I mean, I think you're in a major city there, obviously. I think taxi into Manhattan, like those helicopters, there's been some talk, actually. And I think, was it you or maybe it was someone else that we had on? There's actually a service right now, right, where you can get to and from your work via helipads and helicopters. You heard anything like that in New York?
I think that's been going on for a while. Not that I would know, because that's a different level of transportation for me. I'll stick to the trains and the trains and boats and stuff like that, right? But would be pretty cool though to try out once. I've actually never been in a helicopter. Full disclosure.
Nor have I, actually, full disclosure as well. Jeff, we'll have to go on a date then. There has some nice helicopters going around the Toronto skyline, so we'll have to do.
I ain't getting no helicopter, man.
No, you're not getting it?
Helicopters aren't as safe as planes. At least to my knowledge.
That's true. They don't have wings, so yeah, I get it.
They're not as safe as planes. I'm just saying.
Valid point, Jeff. So basically.
And by the way, Jeremy Livingston, if you're out there you go. There's your shout out, buddy.
There you go. Okay, you got cut this guy's mic now. Now we're just doing shout outs all over the place. So let's give a shout out to Moon. You know, last time you were here, you guys were putting up some big numbers a couple days ago, and obviously with this action here, a lot of action in the market tonight, hopefully. And we just had Fed and more talk here of Netflix news. Tesla made an all-time high. Should be an exciting time. And today, I think you were telling us that Nvidia. You stop me if there's certain things we're not supposed to say, but I think you were saying NVIDIA was notionally the #1 name over there for Moon. And then today, breaking through these lows, man, I think it's going to be another big night for Moon ATS. What do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like I heard you guys were talking about Robinhood before I got on, right? And it's like that, you know, that usually trades a decent amount on Moon, you know, just stuff like that. You know, all the names that you mentioned, right? NVIDIA, Tesla, but then also some of the ETFs like TQQQ, SOXL, the double leveraged Tesla, SPY. Right. You know, it's all the names that a lot of the names that you guys are looking at during the daytime. It's just kind of extended into that too, right? So it's also, you know, new eyes kind of looking in the overnight period, right? You know, people that are up during their daytime, looking to buy and sell a lot of these names. You know, that's what we're seeing. And also, you know, to what you guys are saying, you know, Moon, you know, the volumes have been trending up, right? I think the volumes have also just been trending up overnight in general, but you know, we're definitely a big part of that. And I also see that you have the website up too. So actually, if you go to market activity.
Yeah, I can get that up.
And share that screen again. Market activity, Moon ATS. There you go. So you can check this out real time at night, right? Might be a little delay getting to the website, but you can see the stats. You can see what's trading on there. You know, you have the dollar volume amount selected there. A good way to kind of see what's going on too. So, you know, check out otcmarkets.com and then the Moon ATS tab for market activity.
That's a fantastic. The funny thing, you know, the funny thing is, it just goes to show like my old and unobservant brain here was like, I was going to ask you, I'm like, okay, can we see the same thing that we usually look for on the website? So you killed the question right there. But I'm going to point out one thing. Hey, you've got SHV. That's going to be a short treasury bond play. So you got a little bit of what you would expect. Like we expect to see NVIDIA, we expect to see Tesla, you expect to see Qs, Meta, you expect to see SHV. This thing's going to hit $40, by the way.
That's crazy. This Medline. Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt, but Medline right now 39. I'm getting out.
Still going.
More here on Medline. But.
Hold it till 40. I think is the next leg to go to the upside there. No, but the thing I wanted to ask you, and maybe for anybody that hasn't been looking at this, or maybe isn't familiar with trading the overnight markets yet, maybe it's their first time considering it. The rules regarding the time, like. Let's go with holidays and weekends in particular, because I feel like it's a question that gets asked a lot. I know when people talk about blue ocean, they're like, okay, well, when can you start trading? When does it start? Do you get Sunday night, like the futures? What happens on a holiday when the U.S. markets are closed? Can you walk us through some of that, if you do know?
Actually, that good timing too. We can just kind of walk through next week, right? Holiday week, Christmas, everything like that. So trading will start Sunday night at 8 p.m. Right, Sunday night, 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. Right, and then it switches over to you know, the exchanges are open at that time. Right, goes through. There is no night session on Christmas Eve, but then it starts. But then Moon starts trading again at 8 p.m. on Christmas evening, as well too, and then goes through the rest of the week. Thursday, right, and you know, it's kind of the cycle, but you know. Regular hours, though, starts Sunday night, 8 p.m., goes every night through Friday morning at 4 a.m.
And that's important for everybody, right? And remember, Boxing Day, for whatever reason, is not special enough to be an actual market holiday. So, of course, that's why on Christmas, I would say I wouldn't have known that. Christmas night, if you really wanted to, you can look at Moon. ATS. Can you maybe talk about? Are
you saying that Boxing Day we should just have off in general, right? In the U.S.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but Boxing Day is my birthday. So you better believe I think it should be a holiday. No, because I always just have to take it off, and it's like why not? Like, what are we talking about? I think it always has to do with this. I don't know. I think it's because if there's ever like Christmas, the holiday on a Friday, let's just say, you can't have like 4 days off for the market. So if you ever had to observe Christmas on a Friday, and then Boxing Day needed to be observed, then you'd observe that on the Monday, and then the market would be closed 4 days in a row. And that silly rule is still in. I don't know why that rule exists anymore. If you have any idea why the market can't be closed for more than 3 days, I have no idea why that has to exist. But it is a thing, and that's why it's true.
Okay, maybe I'll do some research for next time I'm on.
I figure you rub elbows with the people, with the important people down in New York. So you tell us. For sure. But look, is there anything coming up in the new year in terms of timeline, maybe adding some more symbols? And by the way, when I was on, where is it? Now I have to go back to the page I was on before.
Oh, here, we'll leave it on here right now.
I was going to show here because you have the list of eligible securities. Are there any important points where that might expand coming up? Because I know you guys are always expanding.
So right now, what we do is, we have basically every NMS symbol. There's a couple exceptions, but overall, what we do is we monitor for corporate actions, right? And so basically, any corporate action minus dividends, we suspend for the night, right? So that way, someone doesn't get caught in something that can't actually clear and settle, or there's some type of corporate action that would, it would hurt the people who are trading on the platform. We monitor for that. We suspend them what's the right word? We halt them for the session, right? And so same thing kind of across the board for overnight. We all try and line up. So it's the same, similar experience on both. And, that's basically it, right? Other than that, it's everything's trading.
Yeah, that's what everyone wants to see, and I love to see the liquidity is bumping up for sure. Jeff, so one question for you. This is not going to be necessarily stock related, but now that you guys are essentially playing for nothing, sorry, it's true.
Poor cowboy.
What? I'm just saying.
Listen, it was
a relatively successful year. Where do you stand on the should you still be playing? So should you still play Dak after what happened to Mahomes? You see Dallas is, it's Miami's benching Tua because they're out of it. They don't want their big guy who makes way too much money to get hurt. So where do you stand on that? You think they should pull the plug and pull the quarterback, and because it doesn't matter anymore?
Okay, so you know what? Why not? At this point, why not? I don't know. But what I will say though, oh God, here we go. You guys better step up too. You're struggling a little bit.
Excuse me? You mean with the best player on the planet, Mr. Josh Allen, we need to step up?
That's even mine.
We just beat the Patriots, by the way.
Yeah, that was a big win.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. We struggled a little bit there. Didn't look so good for a minute.
Win's a win.
There you go. Okay, guys, football season's over with.
I know. If I have to say it at least once,
right now,
I'm going to say
we're gonna shift over to college basketball real quick. So my alma mater, Syracuse. I think we gotta look at a different direction for coaching too these days. We're gonna bring Jerry McNamara back because I don't know how much you guys follow college basketball, but Jerry McNamara having an awesome season over at Siena, a couple hours away from Syracuse down in Albany. Bring him back. Bring him to Cuse. Let's go.
I'm not lying to you. We used to do the.
I guess Jeff went.
We used to make trips to see Elite Eight and stuff back in the day when we were in university. I remember when the Elite, it was like the Sweet 16 was
the Carrier Dome.
Syracuse.
The Carrier Dome.
We were down there, and I wish I remembered the name. There was this one bar, and I feel like it was.
I know what you mean.
It was where the Tar Heels had their party, because every bar. It's like, well, this team's at this bar and this team's at that bar. But the Tar Heels were at this bar, and it was this gigantic, almost like country bar, and it was out of control. It was awesome. First of all, I didn't care about the music.
Chuck's? Was it Chuck's?
I wish I remembered the name. But let's just say the Tar Heel fans know what's up.
So what year was that then that you were there?
1960.
Why do we have to go there? It was before the year 2005 and after the year 2000.
I'm going to dig up a picture. So when I was going to Syracuse, and then also a couple years later, after I'd already left, I worked the NCAA there
on the floor,
right? So I got a picture of all of us. I got a picture of all of us on the court, all the crew, all the Carrier Dome crew. Pete Sala and Kevin Vanderzee, a bunch of the guys, all sitting there. So we put it together. It's actually a blast. Lots of stuff that kind of goes into it. It's not just game day. You show up, you're setting up for that thing for years in advance, getting ready, and then also 2 weeks beforehand, you're getting everything set up. Usually going back and forth from like lacrosse season and everything like that too. So it's like one day you have the you have the Elite Eight game, sending someone to the Final Four, and the next day you got Syracuse lacrosse. They have a game against whoever, right? Army, someone like that. You got to get ready. You just got to go from basketball to a full turf field. Just 12 hours later. It's pretty cool stuff.
Jeff, just back to the market real quick, and then we'll let you go. When there's an IPO like there was today, how long would it take you guys to add this to the overnight? It's MDL and it's Medline. I just know there's some traders that might want to look to see some trading in this. It's done 60 million shares. And it's one of those things, Jeff, where it's like you may be good today, tomorrow, the next day, and then completely die off because it's obviously a recent IPO. So is that something that you guys have to work on? Is it a simple move? You can just add stocks whenever you want. How does that work for a new IPO trading overnight?
That should be on there, right?
Okay.
So IPO today, it should be on there for trading tonight. So definitely, we'll keep an eye out.
Great, perfect. Jeff, happy holidays to you and yours, of course. A great friend of the show, as you guys can tell. You got your shout out in there, and we talked about your college days. We talked about
and congratulations, because we know the family's getting bigger.
Yes.
No,
exactly.
thank you. So
congratulations
soon.
on all fronts.
Real soon.
Congratulations on all fronts. That's Jeff Mendel, and they can you can be reached at OTC Markets website. Go over there, get that, contact us, and Jeff personally will respond to all of your emails. Thank you so much, Jeff Mendel, right there from OTC Markets, head of broker dealer sales, and a good friend of the show. Jeff, take care and happy holidays.
Appreciate you, Jeff.
Thanks, guys. Awesome set up there. I love it.
He sure does. When he was here last time, we couldn't get him off the air, first of all. That was the first part.
I like that shot, too.
Yeah, he was in the background there.
A chance to use it.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. Thanks, Jeff. Lots of fun with Jeff Mendel, and a great guy. Well, there he is. Hey, Jeff. Hey. Okay, he's still on air. Yeah, great guy, absolutely great. Let me know when he's off, and then
horrible taste in.
But yeah, no. When Jeff was here, honestly, like everybody that steps in, into here is impressed, and we want to say thank you to our whole crew for putting all of this together. And now you can see the action behind us.
Well, even just being able to PCSA, and SoFi back there, and we can see just behind SIA Bitcoin in the red, and we're going to go to SIA actually right about now.
We're going to do a really quick small cap update. So the Russell is it's trading bearish today. It's down 0.90%. Let's take a look at a couple of individual small cap movers. Regencell Bioscience Holdings, RGC, the small cap biotech on the Nasdaq, is one of the top year-to-date gainers globally, up more than 11,000% over the past year and over 12,000% year-to-date, with its stock currently trading around $17 to $18. RGC is up 0.42%, and the company's extreme move is reflecting a speculative interest in its treatment pipeline. Secondly, Almonte Industries, ALM, the small cap tungsten miner, is up 783% year to date and more than 700% over the past year, with its shares near $8 and a market cap of under $2 billion. The retreat has been supported by progress as of yesterday after a delivery of its first truckload of ore at the Sandong project in South Korea. And that's all. Back to the guys.
Tungsten, baby. It's all about that indestructible tungsten. One of the strongest metals you will ever find.
One of the weakest, platinum.
Yeah, but the good news is, I've said this before, if I do anything, I have to take the ring off. But the way I look at it's this simple. I could lose this ring and be like, yeah, whatever, I got another one. Because to me, I'm like, yeah, I said to my wife, I'm not spending jack all on a wedding ring. I'll wear it every single day. But that money can be spent way better elsewhere. You can put it in the market, down payment on eventually like our house. Well, at the time would have been like the condo, but like just so many things. But again, to each their own. But that ALM, this goes right to the point, and just even any of the names that C was mentioning, goes right to the point of what Raheem was talking about. There's lots of other opportunities that are non-tech in this market, and some of these metals names, some of these mining companies have been doing very, very well. And it's only under the radar to the extent that, not really, but we don't really cover them as much as we should, and especially given here in Canada, like if you know anyone that's invested in like the TSX or looks at the Canadian markets, it is very heavily weighted towards our banking stocks carry the day, but there's a ton of mining companies and materials companies that are just huge in terms of their weight in Toronto, in the TSX. I shouldn't say Toronto, in the TSX. But I am now in this trend break on the hooded one. So it broke trend as we were talking to Jeff. My stop is at the prior. I'm not using the wick. A lot of times when you have these crazy wicks, I'll use the prior bar, which would be right here, open, which is just underneath 117. And then we'll look to see if it gets to 19. Because 19 to me is that's where I'm looking for, not VWAP. On a day where the market's that far down, I don't want to have to wait for it to get all the way to the upside, all the way to VWAP, especially after 3 o'clock. Like we're already in the power hour. We're running out of time for a dip buy into silver, but I still like VWAP if we can get it on SLV.
Oh.
At least a chance that it could. Oh, what's up?
Oh, no, I was going to say, I just wanted to give everyone an idea because we just broke right now 95. So this was the price for me on Netflix. You know, the market, the funny thing about Netflix is I think we were right about going long, just the wrong name, obviously, here, because the market did battle back. We actually got stopped out, which is fine, of our Tesla. We talked about how many shares we had left, almost nothing. So we actually made money finally on Tesla today on the short, but still going to be hella negative. But I just want to give you guys an update. We're stopping out at 89s there, always. So I don't know if I had said that. We just bounced off 93 right now on Netflix, but just a little bit of a move there. And by the way, we are still $4 in the money on MDLN, and we just got some more out on the high side right now. So yeah, let's go. Medline here, an absolute monster today. What's up there?
Let's take a look here at this segment, or not a segment here, just a little infographic that I made. I want to pull this one up because with Elon Musk's net worth breaking over that $600 billion level, and Larry Ellison obviously having quite the day with Oracle to the downside, I wanted to update this infographic. If you go on X, the TTV research is actually part of a thread. So with that, you can see the previous post, or the last time I updated this just over a month ago. At that point, Larry Ellison was second on this list. He's been usurped by another Larry Page, and he's now in fourth. Of course, Elon Musk winning, and it's literally not even close. He has more than double the net worth of number two, Google co-founder Larry Page. Interesting look here. Another person who's actually switched up their placement on the list is Warren Buffett, going from 10th to 9th. Again, a lot of these are kind of small potato moves, and as you can see, the 8 to 10 spots, so Jensen Huang, Warren Buffett, and Steve Ballmer are all really tight. But either way, if you want to take a look at this, X at TTV Research. Back to you.
Wow. I guess I should have just...
just like, how much does Renault have to own of LVMH to be on that list, man? Like,
a lot.
There's something all of those companies have in common in terms of market cap that LVMH doesn't. Shout out to him. I guess that's a pretty good thing. We're going to slap the fail on
Bitcoin 85.
Hood breaks trend, but even the trend breaks aren't that good today. It tries to go, breaks underneath the trend line, so this one's going to head to the downside even more. Robinhood, good news today, but it's heading down. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't know how well we're going to be able to hold on to Bitcoin, at least today. But for now, like it was making that break, but at least the good news is we are continuing to break down on Bitcoin. Like I'd be a little bit perturbed if Bitcoin was still making this breakout above like 48.6 or 48.7 and Robinhood had came out. But I was looking for, we'd made a bottom on Bitcoin, look for the trend break and the thing that I think could go the most. But we're still heading into the downside. So it's just going to be Medline today. One of those types of days. I said on the way to the 40 level, I'm going to move my trail again. Obviously, every time it makes that big of a move to the upside, it's move the trailing stop. So if I draw this, so here's your big pullback off 37.5. It's now holding this trend. That works out to right now about like 38 1/4 or so. So I'm going to move the trend line here as it's breaking the high one more time. Medline is the thing that is carrying the day. Well, not only is it carrying the day, it's like the only thing that's strong right now. Like literally nothing's up. Pulled up Archer when that headline came in. Archer didn't even move. You think that would be able to get going. Adam James abroad. Looks like SoFi has broken key support again twice now on the daily, down to 21 to 22. 2-2s, fam. SoFi.
$26 today, isn't it?
25.5 now.
25.5.
Well, 20. Yeah. Well, it's actually. I thought 25 was more the key support. I suppose you're referring to like the 26 level. But I kind of think when you look at the daily chart, yeah, we have this crazy wick here, but this is about $25. We had a big turnaround. So I'm not sure it's really busted through this little dip support. You could make an argument that even under 24, you still have some support left. I mean, it's a distinction without a difference. Like it's still trending down from the highs, like double top, lower highs getting put in. So it's definitely trending down. I think there's at least a little bit more room for a bounce. Oh, 25.40.
What?
I don't know. So I'm looking at, so if you zoom in here, James abroad, I look at it this way. This low is 25.25. If you look at this liquidity grab, it closed and then opened at 25.25. Closing prices are important. So it hasn't really busted down above, beneath that 25.25 support, which I would give to the even dollar. So I would argue it doesn't really matter. It's trending down anyways. But I'm not completely convinced that for sure we're going down to 21 just yet. I think if we lose 25 and close under there, I still think 21's a level where I want to get back in or buy back the shares that I sold. So I'm being patient about it. But I'm still open-minded about 25 holding. That's all.
All right, man. Let's go. You know, drop down some more cash. A Medline again, man. Like another out. Like just at the high of the day. Like we take this 39.45 area and take another out. Like it's really starting to go here. So watch out for Medline getting going again right now. So wow. And I'm glad that Jeff was so confident there and said that Medline will be part of the overnight. So you guys can have a look at that and see where this goes. Remember, the Nasdaq will still be going to 8 o'clock tonight, right? And then after that, then you have to switch over into Blue Ocean or Moon. There, I want to thank Jeff for coming on and explaining that one to us. Oh boy, man. I mean, what a crazy day. Like, I'm like, let's go over this. Let's go over the market watch just for a little bit here, the stock heat map, just to see like what exactly we're talking about here. You know, it's been a pretty brutal day, man. You know, Google down 3, and the thing is, what it really does, it doesn't hurt or anything, but what hurts is the fact that it's just there's no hiding anywhere today in the whole tech space. It's the Nasdaq down 2%, it's Google down, it's Palantir down 5%, and we've sold some stuff, you know, over the last little while, so it's okay. But I'm still 95% in, like I maybe 5% cash, something like that. I'm going to look like in looking elsewhere today. I think it's important that you try to get a little more diversified. And I think a day like today really does scream that to you. I know there's no cover anywhere today, but if you're going to say, you know what, let's take some of this market weakness and maybe go over to things that have been working all year, like a GM or a Ford have been working. You may not want to, you might not like the car business, and I don't think I love the car business either, but why I go over to this is this consumer manufacturing spot, right? So this to me is something here. Like, Caterpillar has been an absolute monster all year. I think that down 5% gives you an opportunity to get into a name. GE Vernova, well, although down SSR today, down 10%, that's an opportunity. And I know that's a data. You might not want to get into that because it is data center play. So maybe you pass on that one. But some of these other names on here, JCI Controls, Cummins, like these are really good names that pay a dividend where you can sort of diversify just a little bit outside of what we've been talking about today. And then obviously the financials, we've been going over that. And then today, you know, it's never a great thing. You know, the president's going to come on tonight at 9 p.m. And I don't know if it's been leaked or what. I'm going to ask Adair, do you know, do we know what, I think it's Venezuela, right?
We never know for sure. What I've seen is some people say it's basically going to be another one of his victory lap type speeches like what he did last week in Pennsylvania, where he kind of summarizes all the things he's doing and pumps himself up a little bit. That's what I've seen that it's very likely to be. But again, I'm seeing some people speculate it could be cannabis related. Haven't heard anything to that effect. You guys know I'll be watching it, so I'll probably provide a nice little recap tomorrow.
Yeah. I don't think I'm home till 8 p.m. tonight, so I'll try to watch. He's on at 9, I believe, right? I think. Okay, so I'll be home for that for sure. Yeah, and I was just going to say, if it is Venezuela, like I think he might announce. I don't think he's going to announce boots on the ground or anything in Venezuela, but I think it might be something about the war on drugs and whatever. I don't think it's a good time for him to toot his horn about the stock market today, so he might not be doing that tonight. But he might be. I mean, the market's a shade away from all-time highs. He looks at the Dow. The Dow's 490. It's to 480. So he may comment on that. But I was just going to say, if there's any talk about energy, or those, South America and specifically Venezuela, energy may even go more than that. I would think
it's going to be like, trust me, we're probably going to see like airstrikes.
Yeah, so I think he's going to say something like that they're not playing around anymore. But what do I know besides nothing?
Maybe some drone stocks. It could be, I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, Palantir maybe. Datadog. Oh, I wanted to see. Oh, you know what? There's CrowdStrike down and Palo Alto. Wow. There's like nowhere today, man. ServiceNow. What the hell are you doing?
How was CRM up today? Explain that to me.
Is the greatest stock in the world? I don't know.
Well,
Salesforce.
Isn't it literally the worst tech stock?
I think it was one of the worst performing Dow.
It's the worst Dow tech. It's the worst tech stock in the Dow this year. If not the worst stock in the Dow this year. It's got to be close to it. I'm not sure. You can probably ask Gemini or something. You know what? Maybe it's up today.
Netflix
because if you've been getting AI wrong this entire time and not getting the benefit, then on a day where all the AI stocks go to the downside, then I suppose maybe that's good for somehow reverse logic. It's going to be good for CRM, but it is strong today. Do we have any possible reason why CRM would be strong?
I was just going to look into what you said about it being the worst performer on the Dow. I was pretty sure it was UNH. It is UNH, though CRM is a not so close second. So UNH right now, unfortunately, this is my Jimmy Carter pick. It's down about 35% year to date. CRM is down roughly 23% year to date. And Nike in third place here, they report tomorrow, they're down roughly 13% year to date. So none of those are all close to one another, about 10% removed from each one.
That makes it interesting with Nike still yet to report. Down 13%. It's only the 17th. Could Nike get green on the year is the question. Now, the trend would tell you
down 13%.
13%, but it's not
Maybe.
like you still have the rest of the year. We got a couple of weeks to go here. It's not like it has to do it this week after earnings. Like if it has a good report, you get like 4 or 5 points there. You trend up for a little bit. That's not too far. It's not ridiculous, but
there goes Netflix.
Like 70. Where the heck would it have to get to? Not that it matters, but this is above the 50. This breaks out 70, and I think it's got some momentum. So watch out for Nike. Derry, you said tomorrow they report after the bell. So that could be one to watch for the back half of the week, certainly. Oh, there was something else. I knew there was something I was forgetting. Chipotle is supposed to be another buy today. Chipotle is supposed to be in the imbalances, or at least at the close, 3.8 million shares to buy. Oracle, 1.7 are the two significant ones. There's nothing that anybody would care about to sell. Like Bank of Nova Scotia is supposed to be a sell, but no one cares about Canadian banks. Chipotle, 3.8 million, Oracle, 1.7 million. Those are expected numbers for the imbalances. That doesn't mean that they will come out as buys. It doesn't mean they will come out that big. But it's worth mentioning that Chipotle is exactly that for the early look, which I've never seen before. I've never seen in our note 3.8 million shares, and then I look at this thing at 318, and it's exactly pretty much 3.8 million shares. And Oracle, yeah, whatever.
That's interesting, yeah. I mean, obviously, the pairing off will start. It's only 320 now. So.
The other thing is remember what's happening at the end of this week. It's triple witching at the end of this week. And on top of that, we do know that Carvana is going into the S&P 500. So Vana, nothing's having a good day today. They sold the news. That's already happened. So it made its top on the when it became official. Let's just say, obviously people knew that this was going in. You could check the betting markets were telling you there was a decent chance this was going to go into the indexes, and you could have been going long, or you could have just maybe betting on like Kalshi or something. But now the top is a bit in, but we expect some crazy action. There might be a little bit early on Thursday, but there's always a chance on Friday. You could see a ridiculous number on Carvana. I still think until then, temper your expectations on a daily basis with this thing. All right, Medline's maybe trying to pull back a little bit here, but The other thing is, I don't think I'm going to get a dip in silver. It's about to get to the high of the day again. I don't like a breakout, but if it's going to break this local top at 60.40, I might play false break back into 60.40 on silver. So if it's not going to get to VWAP, that's the only other thing I'm looking at here.
Okay, yeah, so I just want to say, like, so Netflix does break there, and, you know, we were playing off of basically, you know, the 200 period moving average, as we discussed. We wanted 95 from the open. So happy to take it, and obviously not happy with the result as it went down, but, you know, it's the process. And, you know, we took it, and we only had one out right there, and then it just bled basically the whole way. That's just another 95 fill that didn't wind up working for us. So downside there, and like I said, man, it's just thanks to the IPO gods today, because like I said, I think now, and I know, you know, we all talk about, you know, just how we feel about the stock and what we put on it and the risk. Like, all four of us put completely different share sizes up on this. So it's just one of those things where you gotta take what's best for your game. And like I said, like, the IPOs done really, really well on it. So we really loaded the boat on this one. So thankfully today, Medline holds it for me, and we're going to see if we can get a little bit better on our IPO trading, other than just getting out so much so early. But, you know, did not think that we were going to do this, especially after it basically hovered. Once it opened, it spent, and again, I know I showed you because we have all these outs, but it spent at least, like, which is going to seem silly when I say this, but, like, it spent 2 minutes or so down here. And generally speaking, when we get an IPO, it's funny because Ramin was over here looking for all these reactions, and I'm just, like, looking at her like, it's not doing anything. Like, I wish it was doing something, and it wasn't doing anything, to the point where we got stopped out when it broke below the IPO price. Then in minute 2, and I know how ridiculous this sounds, but in my world, that's a lot for trading wise, it blasted right through again. So we wound up taking that the second time. I use the same shares. It was just same kind of a trade twice, like. So it's just one of those things where if I don't have that today, wow, today is a very bad day. But hey, we're happy that we were able to make money there. Not happy, I told you, it was just Tesla. Not happy with that one. We can go back over, I mean, if MSOS, let's check out Tilray, because if the news tonight is like something about weed and cannabis and all that, then I don't know, do you want to take a flyer here? Where's Joe? Joe's over there. Joe, I'm going to give you a little bit of homework if you don't mind. How about even right now? Go find me something, like if I think that Tilray, Joe, is going to potentially go higher today, what would be maybe a contract that our viewers could look at? Because Adair mentioned that Trump tonight may be talking about cannabis. So would it make sense for us to buy 14 calls or something like that? Or what would the strategy be? If you mic up, we can have a longer discussion.
Another question also might be, what would be the best thing to use? Is Tilray the best vehicle, or is there going to be something which will give you maybe?
Well, just be MSOS or Tilray. So that's why I wanted to.
Is MSOS a better option?
Well, he wouldn't. Option-wise, yeah. So that's why I was trying to figure out, like, what would be the play, right? Because for me, it's always something about, like,
split.
Do I buy in the money calls if I really think this is going to be something of a thing? Do I buy, you know, is $15 calls, you know, something? And we might have 0 day, well, we won't have 0 day, but Friday expiry maybe there as well. The only other name would be CGC, I think, where you get volume on the option side. Could be CGC as well. So just looking at that, both of these names kicking around today. It's actually interesting because Tilray is down 5%. This is weird. Tilray is down 5%, CGC up 5%. And then the name that I own, TCNNF, over here, TrueLeave, which today is still up 5 and 6%. So this is the name that I own over there. This man's mic is in use, so unfortunately, I don't know if we'll have too much there. Maybe he can even put it in the chat if he has any ideas.
We do have a super chat we want to get.
All right, what's
here
up?
if we
What's
can.
up?
So thank you for throwing it up there. Small trader Nick, what up? I know all of AI is down. Pretty sure that's true, but it's not. There might be something. I haven't looked at every single stock out there. There might be some kernel of strength that we haven't looked at. But what is your opinion on BBAI and the chances it hits $7 again? Well, I know you've probably looked at it more than I have, Sean. But every time I look at BBAI, without even looking, all I can tell you is this: if it's still holding the 200 period on the simple on the daily, which it's been like an absolute champion, then I think there's a solid chance. But that's been the line. Load. There it is. Oh, yeah, we can see that tomorrow. Okay, so for me, it's pretty simple. This has not closed under the 200 simple since the April lows. Like, you've got to go back to the April, like when everything was falling apart over tariffs and why am I blanking on the day? It's whatever. Was it Tariff Tuesday or the tariff lows? It doesn't matter.
The tariff tantrum.
That's the tariff tantrum. That's what I'm looking for. That's the last time that we closed underneath the 200-period moving average. So if you're long in front of it, that's the place to be. It's worked every single time. But we are testing that tomorrow, it seems like. Probably unlikely that it happens today. It's broken with a wick before, but has not closed underneath. So the way I look at it, if it closed underneath, I think that's kind of an obvious place to get out and say, yeah, you know, this trend has been broken and wait for another kind of a support level. Yeah, but that's my only look on BBAI. I think before we go, I think we have to go back to SIA, and then maybe we'll get your thoughts.
Hey guys, let's take a quick look at the market right now. Pretty regular, nothing major going on. However, tech is down. Energy is doing well with CVX up 1.16%, as discussed with the Venezuelan crude oil story earlier in the show today. Oracle is down 5.7% after losing the $10 billion deal with Blue Owl. It's also now currently searching for other options. Micron is down 2.56% at the moment, but it will be reporting its earnings tonight, and they're expecting a $2.9 billion in revenue. And over the past 16 trading sessions, also Tesla was up 27.5%, but is currently trading at a negative 3.9%. And that's all for the sector. Back to the guys.
Okay, quick sector. Thank you so much for that. I just want to say we are, so I've adjusted my TQQ. Oops, I don't know why my chart, there it is. I've adjusted my TQQ. I still don't mind going long if it breaks. We are getting a little long in the tooth or short in the tooth with time left in open market. That's $50.10 right now. So if we do break, well, it's 50.06, but if we break through 10, I don't know why. I always pick like an even penny. I don't know why. But like an even level. 06 is an even penny. But if it breaks 10s, I think we're going to go long. Well, not I think. We are going to go long there. And I'll probably just play it like 20 cents worth, something like that, just to see if we get a late day rally. But it's definitely not looking like it. I thought maybe we were potentially going to get something there, but it doesn't look like that is here so far there today. Yeah, no, look, as far as Big Bear AI is concerned, this is why I talk like this. You know, the reason why, here, I don't know why my other charts aren't loading up. Okay, here it goes. Neil just talked about the 200 period, and that's basically, and not basically, that is exactly what we're playing off of. And if I just sort of zoom this out a little bit there, we should be able to let this populate. As Neil just showed you, it held it. So I'm going to say I'm not reloading any here. We're still long at $4 from the first time this happened. And we got out on the way up. I'm holding 40% of my trade. So we got out, our best out is 850. Okay, and that's pretty easy levels there to see. We got out at 650, 750, 850, if you guys remember. But we did it on this way up, not this way. So we haven't been actually even looking at this name for a couple months. But the thing about it is, and someone said this, I think on the Midday show, it's not the time to buy names that aren't making money. So their last quarter, they were not able to turn EPS positive. So I don't like unprofitable names in this environment. So I'm going to pass on reloading Big Bear AI, and I'll talk about it maybe after its next quarter. So you guys are sort of on your own. I'm still holding 40%, but we're in the money half decently on it, and I've sort of planned that out. So I'm not going to do anything with that. The one thing that I may do something with is Lululemon. So Lululemon is one of the great ideas I feel like we had, at least. We bought some Uber at 84. That's not looking so good. But Lululemon, we had bought a little bit here before earnings because I was like, you know what, I think retail is going to be hot. We nailed that. Like, retail has been on fire. Shout out to AEO. Sorry, Joe. Shout out to, I would have lost that bet too, by the way. I didn't think AEO was going that high. Abercrombie, Urban Outfitters, like Walmart, Target. I'm in Target as well. So we nailed that call, but we did not nail our timing on Lululemon. So we did get a little piece in there at 198 or whatever it was before. I think it was about $200 before the their earnings call back in September. Then we gave it the 3-day rule because it got absolutely crushed. So we're able to get back average in down to 160 or so. And if I zoom this out, there are levels, so there's no surprise that it held around this 150 area. And then we just now, last week, got a good quarter from them. And now you're back up here. I did get some out at 205 or 206 that day, but now we're looking here, and I'm not going to do anything now. I'm looking at this 200 period moving average, which was at 230, now back into 225. So I'm thinking that that's going to be my next area to get out. And then the same kind of a play on target where we had talked about buying we're almost at $100. So that is my target for target. Yeah, it's a good little money trade there for target. Look at this, man. Boom. We're long here in the mid 80s. So that turned out to be a good trade as well for target. And that's right back up into a hunch again. So I like that, breaking above the 200 period moving average. And look, man, you guys go, if I knew how to do it, I'd do it myself. But I could search Twitter and show you the day that I recommended that. And look, pretty much all the plays that I make, I'll put on Twitter, or at least tell you right here the day that it actually happens, so that there's some accountability. That's how I like to do it. But Boeing right there, I bought this. We talked about this at $200 right here when it came back in on Boeing, because I thought this $200 right into here had a chance of holding. And oh man, it did not. It went down to 180, and all of a sudden, our guy Kelly Ortberg there, yeah, I got you, Adara, ripped right. You see me say no other CEO's name except for his. There it is, right back there, up to the upside right now, broke through, and it wasn't even him. It was the CFO talking about, they're able to produce more planes and blah blah blah. Anyways, that day was a great one. It moved all the way to $200 in one day there, and it's been holding that level. So just to talk about diversifying again, that's why I went on this little tangent there. Retail got a couple positions over there that are helping. Sort of, I'm not even going to open up the account today because I'm 90% in all these tech names. But it's nice to have Boeing join the party. It's nice to have Lululemon and Target join the party, and it's nice to have GLD join the party not too long ago. I first bought this thing in, let's just say 6 months ago, and we recently bought some more at 375 there on GLD, and we did talk about that as well. So yeah, it's nice to have some of these plays, and then obviously Tesla's been a good one besides today, and then we didn't even look at was Rivian. I'm surprised it's still at 1770. That doesn't seem like it's down that much. No. So Rivian holding actually pretty good today, 1770 here.
And what I just looked up, not to go back to BBAI, but I saw someone in the chat saying BBI has a presentation tomorrow.
Boom.
I went to their website, because I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe we should inform people if we're talking about BBI. I see it saying a special meeting of stockholders, not tomorrow, but on the 19th. So, and that's at 3 o'clock. So 2 days from now at 3 o'clock, BBI is having a special meeting of stockholders that to be reconvened on December the 19th. So if you're in BBI, probably something that you want to pay attention to, I would think. Want to also shout out Walmart for making a move. There are strong names in the market. You've just got to necessarily look elsewhere. The reason I'm showing you my e-signal chart is Walmart just went to the Nasdaq. So if I show you my daily chart here, it's like this is how long Walmart's been a Nasdaq stock. Not very long. But there are things that are strong. We've talked about the metals. Talked about some retail names, not all, some retail names. Like don't look at Under Armour. It's probably not a good looking chart. Look at Johnson & Johnson. This one's looking real good. Like the trend has been unabated. And the good thing about this, it's been rallying when tech has been rallying. So even if this pulls back into the 50 period and the market does a pullback, like you're still in an upward trend and you're not exposed to the AI trade there. But that's certainly a name that you can look for. We talked a little bit about this morning about energy, whether you like Chevron or Exxon. I think good places to hide, especially given tonight what may or may not be announced. If we really do think it's going to be Venezuela, there's pretty much nothing it could be than an escalation into, you might see us start to hit some things on mainland, which obviously that would be, I could see there being a shock to oil, no questions asked. But I think that'll be an opportunity. It's a trading opportunity all the time. I don't know what drone name I like. I was out there. But maybe some of the defense stocks, but then I don't love the defense stocks as much with peace in Ukraine, potentially coming in. I think it may not be the best time for those.
I like that one.
You have that button?
I know. I wasn't. I mean, my.
Oh.
That's
How do? Can we get those? Oh, you. Fabian, why does Joe have every single new key?
He's a money maker.
Okay.
He's a money maker. This
Okay.
guy over there. That's the reason why. So
see what's up.
shout out to Joe, man, the money maker over here. Yeah.
I would like to ask for the button too, then, Fabian.
You would also like to ask for there. I was going to look to see if there was anything on Kalshi because Venezuela. No, I want to see what there was going to be some Trump talk tonight. What if there's any odds on what Donald will be talking about there? So I'm just searching in Kalshi here. I'll just do it live on air. I don't know. Oh, here it is, right here. What will Trump? I just typed in Trump there. So what will Trump say during his address to the nation? Is that? I guess that means tonight. Yeah, this expires what in 18?
That's correct. That's tonight.
Pardon me?
Yeah, this one is an address to the nation tonight. So they're.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it says this expires in 18 hours, so it can't be that one there. But President Trump out, go ahead.
So I was going to say, I looked at Polymarket, and some of these are like just words he'll use, but other ones have to do with, they're saying maybe Syria, Venezuela, 90% border. The word Trump is also on here. Peace in the Middle East, Hanukkah, Golden Age, tax on tips. A lot of these are just his normal talking points.
What are the odds that he says his own name? That's
whatever the odds are of Venezuela is free money. You might as well
only 90.
You might as well just go with your. I mean, it's almost as much of a lock as Jake Paul losing there on Friday. The odds. Do you know what the odds are? What? Don't you think so, Joe? Yeah, the odds for Joshua Anthony Joshua is minus 1,200. Like you have to lay down $1,200 to get paid $100. Like you don't even that doesn't even exist in sports. There's no minus 1,200s, on an individual event. Like there might be if it's 4th and 1, maybe the chances of them getting a first down is something good like that.
Oh,
but
I'm sure you see there's some lines like that in the Olympics. But it'll be really rare, like that.
Yeah, but not
like that pole vaulter guy. You couldn't win a dime on Mondo because the guy was this dude Mondo to plant.
But anything can happen there too, right? So maybe
he's so good.
I'll have to check the Olympics.
That he comes into the competition when 90% of the people are they're getting to their PBs. And he's like, I'm gonna enter the competition now. He's just that good. He physically has to get hurt to lose most days. And there's one guy who can, if he has a really, really bad off day, there's one guy that can stay with him. And even then, it's he has to lose on his second height.
Right.
And then that guy has to have his best day.
So it's not much of a competition.
But you can't win Jack doing that. You got to bet on.
So I would not bet. That's what I would say. But the Venezuela for sure. He's gonna say something.
I'm not seeing the same thing.
She was looking at Polymarket. So.
Oh, that's why I'm not looking at Kalshi. Okay.
Yeah. Good for that as well.
Did I just hear we're going to?
Yeah, we are going to go to Sia. We just got to throw it to her first, so let's do it right now.
Hey guys, so the UK Consumer Price Index fell more than expected to about 3.2% year on year versus the consensus, which was closer to 3.5%, which has triggered a sharp drop in the British pound. The downside surprise has basically pushed the GBP to the bottom of the G10 performance table today. The sterling is down 0.53% as of today to $1.33. And the US dollar has rebounded and is currently the strongest major currency since the Asian recession. Markets are watching for a cluster of central bank decisions with particular focus on a more hawkish Bank of Japan move that could lift the Japanese rates to multi-decade heights and push a bit of a volatility into USD and yen. USD yen. Emerging market currencies are also under pressure at the moment. As discussed yesterday, India's rupee has recently hit near record lows. And at the same time, USD MXN and are trading near multi-year lows. And that's all for right now. Back to the guys.
I don't think Mexican peso there. I think that's what you're referring to. All these things, man. I don't know what currency is being used in Venezuela. That can't be very good either. To potentially what's going to happen there tonight. So we just hope that everybody is safe. If you're watching us there from Venezuela or wherever you are in South America and all that, or anywhere in the world, hope you are enjoying the show and wish you all the safety in this world. This world's a messed up place. There's no doubt about that. So, but we'll find out more tonight what President Trump is all about.
And maybe it's not going to be all that bad.
It's always, there's always a thing. And it's not going to be, no matter what, it's not going to be.
Salad time? It was really good.
Venezuela, that does have a lot of fruit. Like, you know, a very, very warm climate over there. No, but I was going to say, I hit that by accident. Now I don't even remember what I was going to say. It's too busy dancing to the fruit salad. But no, it's just be careful out there. And oh yeah, what I was going to say is that may not say anything directly. And I think that it's not going to be a war anyways, right? It's going to be sanctions. It's going to be like different effects that are going to try to cripple, you know, potentially their economy or things like that. That seems to be the way Trump, and I think that's the better way of doing
also
it, right?
individual
Sanction
actions.
Russia. Sanction Ukrainian.
There might be like little, like, look, even if there are strikes, it'll probably be like, you're not going to necessarily war with the country. Like,
No, that's what I mean, yeah.
It'll just be going to war with the drug trade, I think is what you'd be scared about there. But that does, for a trading aspect, I think you have to be looking at energy. It was already looking like a pretty decent trend break and a little bit of a hold to support higher. I think I like Chevron, I might add to that one just as like a safety thing. But we did just lose temporarily. Well, I've had this trend line up the whole time. And basically, since it made the press past 39, I'm like, yeah, the second it breaks that trend line, I'm just going to get out. And it did, so I jumped out there, like 39 change or so. And I'm talking about Medline up here. So Medline it's been a very successful IPO, no questions asked. But just as a reminder, two things. One, it's not in the tech space, so that's probably boding well for it here today. And the second thing is the action on the first day is nowhere nearly, it's not remotely indicative of how any IPO is going to perform over like months. Right? The first day is completely meaningless to how a stock, any IPO will perform in any kind of a long run, whether it's a quarter, whether it's a month, whether it's a week. The first day usually ends up being noise. But this one having a successful first day in the healthcare space. One thing that we didn't talk about here is, yikes. UNH, there was a point this morning, I think we were talking, because UNH looked like it was maybe the healthcare space is going to be relatively strong, this will be breaking out. It's actually heading potentially back down to the 300 level, which has been a pretty good level of support. So if UNH is failing this 50, playing back into 300 is going to be a thing. And then one more, before we get a second look at those imbalances, see what they're looking like. Someone asked in the chat, what is going on with GEV? Remember, all of these names, whether it's your nuclear energy names, whether it's, it could be like your chip manufacturer or equipment manufacturing names, there's this whole cluster in AI that is not just chip names or your big cap spenders on these data centers. There's the power names as well. GE Vernova is going to get hit heavily if you start thinking about any kind of pullback, delays in data centers, pullback in spend. They're going to get hit hard. This is not moved like doesn't move like a defensive name. It hasn't for a long time. It moves like a parabolic runner. So when you see this pullback 10% in the 50 period, that's par for the course. And I'm still waiting at the 200 period, by the way. Have not moved my order. Still sitting at 5. I think I'm like 522. I just happen to like that number. But you can expect G Vernova, when Oracle gets hit like this with this headline, then you're going to see G Vernova move, and it's down 10% today. It'll be SSR tomorrow, potentially. Maybe we'll see if that one's going to bounce. But Canary in the coal mine lost the bid. A lot of other things in AI are going to go with it. That's just how it is.
So I know you got out of Medline there. We still have a little bit of a few left here to fire off in the chamber. So it's up back to 40. So we take another out at 40. I take some out at 39.50, some out at 40. Now we'll wait for the high of the day back. I didn't even realize it went this high. Man, we've just been distracted with talking about everything today. Palantir at day's low, everything. I'm still going to, I just looked at this. If we break above 50, that's now right where our 50-period moving average is. I'm thinking about maybe a little bit of an upside. All this talk about Trump coming on and things like that. I mean, I don't know. He talked about robotics last time. He talked about AI stimulus and things like that. I mean, maybe tonight, based on what he's seeing in the market today, and we know that he's a president of the market as well, likes to talk about it. Maybe there's something that he can throw towards all of his good friends in Wall Street tonight that gets this market going. So I'm going to go long on a 50 break and not give it too much time. If we're wrong, we do have the 50-period moving average right here back at around 80s. I think that would be something there to see, or this, that's 80 either way. So we're going to give it 20 cents. Okay, 20 cents to work out. But remember, we are now minutes away and moments away from the imbalance. And this will,
There's a bunch.
Yeah, this will affect, like, here, I don't have it, I got to do it by size because I had it by paired value. So, you know, Chipotle, BMNR, like these are all going to come out and we're going to find out which way they go. So it's no surprise. Like I'd rather this break before all this happens so that we can maybe get an upside move and then I'll worry about it afterwards. But for me right now, just sitting here waiting for these imbalances and also waiting for a 50, I'm going to go long. I'm going to give it 20 cents. So if you guys were looking for a trade, I'm going to do that. To each their own. We're still $5 in the money, of course, on Medline, and that's what it is for now. NVIDIA keeps on spiking on my scanner, but it's not that it's doing anything. It's actually just broke the 200 period moving average, so it is doing something from the bottom. That 170 bid seems to be pretty good, right? 171 and change. Before we go and get those imbalances, let's have a quick look to see what Tesla's been doing. Our short was fine. We got smoked here, and then we probably gave back everything we've made on the month in Tesla. And then we got a little bit back there on the short, and that's what that is right now. So now we're just gonna have to wait to see where exactly Tesla goes from here tomorrow. Like down 4%, was not expecting that today. If we do again get positive talk, we know that there's some good talk about Tesla. So I still am excited for the trade, just not sure, you know, how good it's going to be tomorrow. It's only Thursday, you know, we have Micron tonight. So Micron's going to, like Broadcom sort of started this whole thing, you know, Micron is also a pretty big problem if they miss. And I think this whole memory thing is a little bit of a house of cards. So I just worried about it, to say the least. So let's just wait to see what does wind up happening tonight with Micron, and we'll go from there. On that report. So Micron coming tonight down 2.6%, and you know the Oracle bleeds, SanDisk, all that kind of stuff just continues. Oracle down again, man. Another 8%, or sorry, 8%, 5.8%, 6% down, and looking to break through the lows of the day. So in my genius TQQ talk, it doesn't look like that wants to do it. It's actually trying to turn around a little bit, which is fine. We only want to get it if it's momentum break higher. And right now, like this 200 period moving average hasn't even been talked about all day on this stock. Literally hasn't even looked at it, maybe right there. And we had got some out of our long at that point. So this is going to be a good stock today for sure. Luckily, we're able to get away from it right there. That's what you got to do on discipline. Yeah, no, I think that the what I meant by, you know, let's watch out to see what happens with Micron. I think that the memory, I just think it's gone upside a little bit too far. You know, SanDisk and Micron. I mean, the thing is actually, let me take this back just a little bit. You know, it's 3:47. We have a couple minutes until these imbalances. Yeah, it's actually, now that it's already down here, like I was calling this a problem up here. We called it a problem up here, then this happened. Then I was very surprised when this had happened. So we made the same discussion, but I actually hadn't noticed that it had pulled back this far. So when I saw someone in the chat there say something about the pullback, yeah, this is actually set up to be fine actually on earnings. So I'm not as, I still think it goes down, but I'm not as nervous about how far it will go down from here. Like we're no longer near the top. You're already down from when we called this thing. 260 was where we called short. It's now down to 226. So you're already down 13% or so. On this name heading into earnings. So I wouldn't buy it, but I also don't think it's a horrible idea right here. So yeah, I can get behind some Micron love. Let's just see what those numbers are at the end of the day.
Like SNDK, like SanDisk, that dropped like 35%. Like these have pulled back. Like it's going into these Micron earnings, that these guys have really gotten smoked. They're down another % today. Maybe that's why they're only down 1 today, because they've been destroyed so badly relative to the others. But there was something else here that wasn't there before on the imbalance locator. With 90 seconds to go, Norwegian has shown up for $2.5 million to the buy side. Again, not very much time for it to, before it opens up, or before we get the imbalances, but this has been trending down as well. Like, really?
Holy.
Like Norwegian got hit too today? Why exactly would these guys get hit in this pullback? Travel names, you would think should be a little bit they have nothing to do whatsoever. It's probably going to be this Venezuela stuff. Who knows? It's going to be the unrest. It's going to be the oil prices. That's the only reason, because these have been on a breakout and they look pretty strong. If this does come out as big as 2.5 million, you might see an TLH move. So I'm going to have this one up as we have the imbalances in less than 1 minute. Norwegian taking it on the chin, but probably because of this in Venezuela.
I canceled my futures trade. It's too late now. You're now 30 seconds away. I thought that if we could run before 350, that would be a good idea. But wow, this Medline, man. You know, obviously we're going to have tops and bottoms today. Obviously you're going to have bottoms. But to have a top is pretty crazy that we made the move all the way back again, $40.50. Congratulations to everybody that had this trade, man. On the sticky note, it was one of the top names out today for me. So Medline just continues to go, man. Good name there. All right, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right here. So we're going to see if there's anything that kicks through here. It looks like Medline goes to 41, so there must be a little bit of a buy there as well. iRobot hits a sell. Oracle gets a buy. Yeah, Amazon a sell there, down. Look at Amazon. So there goes the market a little bit down to the downside. But wow, we are now $6 in the money on MDLN right now. Wow, we could have made like our whole year if we had just held everything. But, you know, we didn't. So there it goes, man. I'm happy that it's my #1 stock on the month, but it could have been #1 stock on the year. There goes Medline up through $41. I guess I could cancel my stop. That was at $34.95 right there. So this now $6 in the money. Let's just go $40.79. If we break below that, then we can get out of our whole piece. There it goes, man. Medline, thank you so much. Helping to pay a couple bills today.
Yeah, paying all the bills realistically is Medline. Amazon just broke, sorry to tell you guys, but the market is not doing well today, and that Amazon sell imbalance broke the low of the day on Amazon. It did pair off a little bit here, 1.7 million to 1.2, pretty much instantly, but there's a low of day break on Amazon. Unfortunately, this has not been a very good day for tech stocks, and this imbalance here not going to change too much. It's only 900 million to sell, the total number, and the Nasdaq's only 180 million to sell, and there is a buy, and it's Netflix. 1.4 million to the buy side, Netflix. This is a good, okay, so Netflix is green today, and I know it's been trending down, but this is a good day, I think, for Netflix, because you get the certainty of, well, the board supports the Netflix deal. They do not support Paramount's deal at all. So the only option right now for Paramount, they can go home and give up. They could try to raise their bid, see if that changes anything. But as of right now, Warner Brothers deal is Netflix winning. Obviously, it will take some time to close. There's antitrust issues for sure that'll make this take a while to close. But they haven't had to raise their bid. That was positive for Netflix, and then the market did what it did. But Netflix, I think, would have been up significantly more otherwise. That's just how it. The thing about a relatively strong stock is that sometimes you have when you get like an almost 2% down day, it has a tendency to drag down some things that it might normally. If it was a 1% day, Netflix probably holds up a little better. I don't know Flex, but that just showed up here. Flex, what is Flex? Flex Limited? That's a huge imbalance. 1.4 million. The stock's only done 4 million on the day. I might throw this one up on the side burner just in case at 355. When we expect most of these to pair off, you might find something a little bit interesting in this name. You have nothing too crazy happening. Don't think at this point in the day, even if silver gets to VWAP, it's way too late, pretty insignificant. It never broke the high and it never touched VWAP, but another fresh all-time high for silver. Up 4% today on a day where GLD, as we talked about this morning with Raheem, is up 1. So good day for gold, great day for silver. That's how it's been. I don't think it'll last forever. Silver plays that catch up, and then eventually, gold sort of takes, at some point, gold always takes the reins again. Maybe that'll be when it takes out the high. Who knows? Well, I would argue that GDX has been a bit better. But gold almost breaking out the highs as silver continues to go higher and higher and higher. And then, of course, IBIT or Bitcoin. Let's forget about an IBIT chart. I'll just show you the Bitcoin chart because that's even better. Bitcoin will close, well, I mean, the 24-hour market, but we're going to get to the actual equity market close without losing 85K on Bitcoin. So we're going to end up holding this 85,000 support for now. But this, any way you cut it, this is going to be a nasty candle. Like remember this morning when we're like 90,000, we're going to 90,000? everything was, wow, this is a big time breakout through 88. Everything was looking pretty good, and then huge right turn. This is pretty bearish, in my opinion, for Bitcoin, how heavily it got sold off here. I feel like tomorrow we'll probably gap under it. I don't think there's going to be a chance, but that 85,000 break tomorrow looks like a trade to me. But with the crypto market, whenever that seems like the case, if it's any good, it'll probably happen overnight. That's just how it works. But I'm pretty bearish on Bitcoin going into tomorrow based on the price action we saw today. There's no other way to look. Let's go to Sia at the desk.
Hey guys, quick crypto update. Bitcoin is near 89,000 amid like the thin holiday trading. Bitcoin is trading around 89,600 after dipping 0.5% today, above its recent lows near 86,000. Volumes are thinning during the holiday season. Former CEO also of MicroStrategy, Michael J. Saylor, has predicted that quantum computing will harden Bitcoin instead of breaking it. Currently, BTC is down 1.83%, and that's all for today.
Thanks. Thanks. Right over there. I was gonna say, big shout out to the smartest person in the room. You know, Adara has nailed this whole move. Like Adara, I got to give her. This is what I'm talking about. Like, you know, I don't have any problem saying smartest person in the room. Like Adara had talked about this move on the downside. Thanks, Adara.
That is very kind.
You're welcome. Well,
I did the research on it, so I was very comfortable.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Like, I just wanted to say, like, sniffing that one out about that, you know, definitely saved me a little bit, that's for sure. And I just look at this and it's like, it goes to the point of doing your homework. We had Rahim Alani talk about doing that on some of the metal names today. And it's like, this move has been so dramatic. And I just clearly remember on the recap show, and me and Adair and I were sort of talking about it. And then that very next day, we got like this spike up and I was just like, I'm selling. And then honestly, like the very next day, it was just bleed city down there to the downside. So at least I was able to get out of something up there. And it just goes to show, like, do your research, figure it out, you know, stick to some of your guns sometimes. And, you know, that will happen. And try not to catch falling knives like that was there on Oracle, like I did today on Tesla. But great instincts over there for Miss A.
Preparation and research as well. Well, the thing about taking those ideas or that research and putting into a plan of action, sometimes if it means risking your own money, you might not have the gumption to do it. That fear of losing, or maybe not even having enough capital to start, keeps traders on the sideline. Well, it's changing. Because Trade the Pool is transforming how you can engage in the markets with the limited risk trading model. So you can use funded capital, and Trade the Pool is going to take that downside. You hit the profit targets, and you can keep 70% of the profits. No fear barriers. We're just talking about a real opportunity and the opportunity for you to focus on the things that matter, like discipline. So this is called the limited risk trading model. It's powered by Trade the Pool. You can visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code and get 10% off. And I've been so good at getting to like the right point and saying QR code when it's on screen. Yeah. But there it is again. So I mucked it up that time. But scan that QR code. We didn't have Mitch on yesterday, but I think we'll probably still have Steve, I think, potentially tomorrow.
No, he's Friday, isn't he?
Is this Thursday or Friday?
I don't know.
You know what? I just kind of checked the calendar. Okay, well,
no, Friday we had Michael. I can't remember. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't matter. But we thank them for coming on through with their ideas and appreciate Trade the Pool for sponsoring that part of the show. We got 2 minutes to go, everybody. Today is, of course, Wednesday. We do have Micron coming up after the bell. This is pretty much, let's call it like it is. They report later this week, but Micron is the last significant earnings name I think that we care about in the market in terms of the tech trade for sure. So there's going to be a lot at stake, especially after the day that the market has had today, unfortunately. Not a very good one. And Santoa just said Tesla broke the market.
Not that broke.
The Oracle news broke the market. This is the second time in a week, in maybe 2 weeks, that this has happened, where it looked like we were going up. When you sat down at 8 o'clock or you joined us this morning, there was nothing that seemed this bearish at all. None of the headlines looked that way. Most of the charts didn't look that way. And then we just get, boom, there's another piece of Oracle news with regards to delaying any kind of delay or any kind of an issue with funding for any of these data center build-outs, and then whoosh, we're to the downside again. There's just not much of a bid when we get this Oracle news. So it's almost like, well, you're in the right spot because you're never going to miss the headlines here, that's for sure. And you won't see, and unlike other places, like you'll see us immediately get to this is what's happening. Like look at these individual names reacting to this headline. This is where we're not catching the bid. If we were catching the bid, we'd be able to tell you and not talk about that after the fact. So yeah, not a good day for the markets. Hopefully, maybe Micron can tell us some good news.
Yeah, I don't think I
might doubt it, but
right now, Nasdaq down 1.9, ES down 1.3%. The diamonds, which of course is the Dow Jones, 30 down. I don't know how much. Anticlimactic down 0.4 right there. So Dow holding out the best. It looks like it's the Nasdaq down 2, ES down 1 with only 10 seconds left. Yo, thank you 3D Capital for sponsoring the closing bell again and 2 and 1. And Medline ends at $41. Unbelievable. You could have hit that a little harder. You know, we didn't do this too much, but this is who made money yesterday. This is, I expect these numbers to be a lot bigger today. But this is who made money yesterday at Real Trading. Someone trading the TSX made $15,000. Then we got this. Hong Kong yesterday overnight. I told you we trade over 60 plus markets, but this is what I'm looking at right here. I just wanted to see if anybody made money on Blue Ocean. So we got Blue Ocean, and pretty soon Moon. Blue Ocean right now is just more known by our traders, and Moon's going to join that party as well. But I was just going to say, man, party on Garth tonight.
Well, actually, for a clarification, I'm pretty sure at Real Trading, the overnight market goes under Blue Ocean. So even if you traded on Moon, it's almost like it's just like another gateway. It would still show up. You could just use either gateway and it'll show up
overnight or something.
It's just like the overnight market. So there's a really decent chance that some of those traders could have easily used.
Yeah. And it's just double the liquidity, right? I mean, there might be a level there that's on Moon and not on Ocean. So
that's a bigger thing too.
Moon Ocean. So I think we should have our own gateway. Just call it Land, or Sun. Well, Sun wouldn't matter.
Micron already
sun
here?
Well, I guess it's sunny somewhere right now.
Micron to the upside.
Okay, here we go. Micron's out.
Yeah, it looks like they beat. Wow, revenue is $13.6 billion versus 11 prior quarter. So that's big. It's quarter over quarter. It's a big beat, but I don't have the comparables there. But Micron to the upside, up $15 already here on Micron.
Yeah, remember our stats will show that it's up 2%, but the move is more, right? This is just up 2% as if it was still a live market right now. This will pull back. So watch out here for Micron right there. Here it is right here, the adjusted EPS right there. So we got 478, beats 395. And like we said, it was set up right there on Micron on the daily chart to do something like this. We came into 227 there. All we are is right back here. Like, it's not like we're back that far yet, but there it is right there. So, okay, their forward look is out as well. So we'll have to see where that's going. But there it is, EPS right there, 478 versus 395, and a monster beat, like big time beat on both sides of this. But yeah, it looks like we'll be looking at some Micron tomorrow, everybody, taking out 240. Key level 250 always right into here. So that could be a level to look out for on MU.
Q2 sales guide, $18.3 billion to $19.1 billion versus $14.1 billion estimate. So that is a big guide as well. You would think it's up more than 2 points based on that revenue guide. But
well, it is. No, I mean, it is. That's what I'm saying. It is up more than that.
No, but what was the expected move?
I think it was down 6 going in, so now you're up about 8.
You'd think you'd get double digits, though.
Yeah, you probably will.
Well, there's still time. Yeah. It's only 403, but that's a pretty big guide. It's a pretty big guide for them there for Micron. So expect like SNDK probably.
So if you come in tomorrow and Micron is down,
we're in trouble. We're toast.
It's going to be a bad day all around tomorrow. But thanks everybody. Thanks Sia today, already gone. Thank you Adara as well. Thanks Brendo. We want to give a big shout out to Raheem. Of course, who was here early today and had some great talk there. Micron's already sort of pulling back in now to 237. Shout out to Joe. Thanks for always adding some color to our show as well. Sharif, Andre, Ramin, and I always look over there, but I know who's over there, Fabian as well. So thanks to everybody for who helped us out there today. And thanks to all of our viewers, man. We couldn't have done this show without you. But most importantly, thank you to Medline. you really made a difference in the P&L today, that is for sure. Micron, if you want to just come over here just real quick, we'll just show you this. It is pulling back into 234 right now. So Micron on a double beat and a beat on the guide. I feel like it shouldn't be pulling back right now. We'll see. It just touched 233 there. Look at that. Nice little move down. Remember, though, when you're trading in the after hours, liquidity is sparse. Exactly. So the moves could go one way or the other. And they have a CEO that's pretty humble with his expectations and isn't as boisterous as like Elisa Su or Jensen. So you got to watch out, or Elon or anybody like that. So watch out to see where Micron goes.
Well, they're always conservative. They're like Intel.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't expect them to hype you up on the call. They don't do that.
We have CPI on Thursday. That should be interesting. Bank of Japan news coming Thursday, Friday. Lots of stuff happening this day. Okay,
there's
good
another
trading there on Medline. I wish there was better trading on other names as well, but I only have Medline and MSOS today for me in the green. We'll see if we can do just a little bit better tomorrow.
Affirm actually had a good day today.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Remember, we forgot all about this. Affirm, yesterday there was news on Affirm with Amazon, and they had a relatively good day today on Affirm, but it was all about Medline today. And hopefully it'll be all about Micron saving the market tomorrow. You never know. We'll find out at 8 a.m., everybody. We'll see you then.
Micron 240 again.
Micron at the high.
Yeah, see you.